The July U.S. jobs report is expected to show more growth in private sector hiring, but not strong enough to pace and bring down unemployment rates. The real question is, will job growth be stronger a year from now? I sat down for a roundtable discussion with the dean of UCLA's Anderson School of Management, an economist there, and a student. And I kicked it off by asking the dean about prospects for her current MBA students.
One of our leading indicators is the internships that our students get, and that's always a year ahead because ultimately those are permanent jobs a year from now. And what we're happy to see is that this year's job market as a leading indicator for next year for internships has been very, very positive. Very strong internships for our students, for everyone, much better than last year. And we think that's a smart move for companies because, of course, they can't wait till the boom hits in order to hire because the best talent will be gone.
Like Kim, you came from Colony Capital, you worked at Lennard. Why did you decide to go for your MBA?
I thought it was just initially it just seemed like as though it was just sort of something that you do along your traditional career path. When I came to UCLA Anderson, I realized that my initial thoughts on that were actually totally wrong. I came in here and I got exposure to all these sorts of different types of businesses. As you mentioned, I was with Colony most recently, a private equity firm based out here in LA, and I changed that career path. I got exposure to entertainment and currently doing corporate finance at Disney.
The economy has also required people to be a bit more flexible and a bit broader about the industries that they look at. So instead of just looking at corporate finance in the financial services world, go into corporate finance in industries that are growing and that are stronger.
What are those industries?
One of the interesting things about California today is it's a very diverse economy, and it's innovation-based, information-based, international trade-based economy. And those are the areas that are going to grow as we move forward. California does get, of course, a lot of press because we have gridlock in state budget discussions, and we have some star power in Sacramento, which makes it good press. But the fact is that's a small part of the California economy. And we're seeing growth in exports, we're seeing growth in manufacturing, we're seeing growth in technical services, in innovation, in green technology. So there's a kind of a whole variety of areas where demand has picked up, and soon we're going to see new job growth.
Look, we've also seen tons of star power out of Silicon Valley and the uptick of venture capital. Private equity is bouncing back. If you look at guys like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and you say they didn't get an MBA, they didn't even finish school for that matter, does that weigh on you and say, hey, maybe I didn't need to get an MBA after all?
Sure. I think the necessity of the MBA is in the eye of the beholder. Clearly some companies require individuals to have an MBA. Clearly you have those standout individuals like the Steve Jobs and the Bill Gates of the world who have achieved tremendous success without MBAs. There's also a big bucket of individuals who owe their success to their MBA. Warren Buffett is a good example of an MBA who was extremely successful and in fact didn't get his first choice of MBA, but that really took him to great heights. And I think that the same thing applies with us.
So looking forward, the MBA is far from dead. What is unemployment going to be next year if we are forecasting based on your internship information a year out?
We're going to have a relatively high unemployment rate, but some sectors are going to have actually fairly low unemployment rates, and those would be the technology sectors, export-oriented, information-oriented sectors, education, healthcare, the fast-growing sectors here in California and here in Los Angeles.
When I use the word bellwether of future markets, of future economies, our world is converging in terms of ethnicities and cultural diversity, and this is a place where it's happening before the rest.